Nice. Something like that. Howdy, I me. I am currently pausing our streams so I can get our chat up. Computer technician, tinkerer, 3D printer, light small engine mechanic. Not an actual mechanic. I just like working on small engine stuff. Um, yeah, I like technology. Nonstop to the AM. Yeah, what do I share to? Everywhere. Nice. I have not. Yeah, we're just gonna go right with it. No, nothing. Nothing that I noticed recently. Um, the last thing I dropped off at, I think, was the big pause, and I think I told you they went back and forth one more time, which you already have in the notes. It was, I think China fired back with also 125, and then Trump was like, "Okay, 145." I don't think we have audio on you. I can hear myself on YouTube, but I can't hear you. And same thing with Twitch. It's funny actually. Every time I'm looking at my monitor, it looks like I'm looking right at you. That's great. And your monitor's on the opposite side. That's phenomenal. Right. Ooh. We can't hear Mark. We can talk mad shit. You can't hear us. Okay, I guess I'm gonna run through everything again. Had no idea. Let's see. Got that paused. I got that paused. Here we go. Tariffs suck. I'm gonna go over what Mark just stated. Based off his notes here. We have, as we talked about last week, we have an update on the tariff situation. On April 9th, 2025, this year, the Trump administration announced that tariffs would be on pause for smartphones and computers, as well as semiconductors, solar cells, flat panel TV displays, flash drives, memory cards, and solid state drives. This move would have made the companies not liable on the 145% reciprocal tariff the administration has placed on goods coming into the United States from China. This move would be seen as a major relief for tech companies, as being subject to these tariffs would increase the price of devices and computer parts across the board. Well, in a twist no one saw coming, in a post Sunday night, President Trump stated there was no tariff exception. These products are subject to the existing 20% fentanyl tariffs, apparently, and they're just moving to a different tariff bucket. Essentially, going to get recategorized. So while it isn't a 145% tariff, it's still a 20% tariff, which is 9% higher than the original 11% we were previously at. Mark is still struggling to get his audio working. Did you go over discussion questions yet? No. This is for us to look over. I was thinking topics. Um, we have the XT was inside of us all along. We got Windows 95 startup sound added to National Registry. We got it's basically what's on this document. Microsoft's emergency alert. Yeah, this was the last one that we had. Yeah, I'm gonna have to improvise and find something as we're going through things here. But yeah, that's fine. I guess you'll find out in a little bit here. Here's a really good one. The One UI 7 updates halted worldwide. Yo, worldwide? Okay. Samsung pulled the One UI 7 update from its servers worldwide on April 14th. The Android 15 based build started rolling out on April 7th after months of delays. And Samsung says the update was suspended to ensure the best possible experience, quote unquote, and that it should resume soon. An update. We have an update April 15th, so this morning at 5 a.m. Eastern. So it looks like Samsung is getting ready to resume the One UI 7 rollout. So that was pretty quick. According to Tipster Ice Universe's now deleted post on X, the One UI 7 rollout should restart on April 15th. Samsung has also acknowledged the issue and apologized for suspending the update. On its Korean community forums, a company representative moderator confirmed that the rollout was temporarily paused due to maintenance-related issues, which has since been resolved. They've added that the One UI 7 update should resume shortly. And this was all based off of Android Authority. Do you sound... Does you have audio? Am I quiet? I thought it was actually pretty loud.
Input capture.
You need to put a... you're on OBS?
Yeah, I'm on OBS. I just added a second input capture.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what else it's gonna be.
That might be it.
No, it's not. Oh, that was it. What the hell?
Oh,
That's all it was. Holy crap, dude. That's so stupid.
Nice. I can hear you.
This has never been a problem before. That's so actually dumb. Okay. Well, let me add the noise suppression again. All right. So hopefully that'll work now. I'm waiting for the stream to update. I'm so sorry for anybody just going by this.
Nice. After the Korean Galaxy S24 series firmware was pushed, a serious bug was found, which led to the suspension of the push plan in all other countries, including China. The reason for the delay is that users of the official version of One UI 7 and the Korean S24 series found could not be unlocked normally in some cases.
Oh.
That's all it was.
That's new. Okay, now that my microphone actually works, I guess I can actually talk about some things. I guess you want to go back to the tariff discussion and chat about that if you have anything to add to it. Because really,
yeah, we can roll back to that. It just
seems like we're just gonna get butt fucked for the next 4 years, at least.
Right.
Like, just being
it seems
blunt.
like, I don't know. This could be a whole thing continuing into 4D chess.
Uh, I it's hard to see the 4D in this. If I'm being
It only
complete,
went up 9%.
what went up 9%?
As currently, we're still sitting at a 20% tariff versus the 11% that it was at previously.
Yeah, but it was going to be 145%. That doesn't seem very 4D chess to me.
I don't know.
Seems like somebody doesn't know what they want to do.
He asked for a lot more than that. You got a tiny little bit.
I guess. Um.
He's gonna save us.
Okay. Uh. But how much longer do you think? Back to this discussion questions. How much longer do you think the markets could even bear such a roller coaster of like just crazy back and forths left and right? Um. Just wild updates because I can't imagine it's gonna be able to hold up for much longer.
It's like how long it's gonna go on for.
Not even that, but like, I mean, I guess obviously we're gonna survive it, but like, how soon I guess is it just all gonna fall apart?
I don't know if it'll fall apart. The whole world's kind of working around us.
For now, Canada's already taken steps to I guess find ways to work without us because the new prime minister said that America's no longer the financial leader of the or economic leader of the world.
Yeah, not really. That is kind of China.
China. Oops, that's the wrong Discord.
Not that they have like a stellar economy or anything, but they are like the number one distributor and like manufacturer of the planet. They do have manufacturing down to a T. So
Yeah, I never understood. I know you and I have talked about this more in private, but I never understood the whole China's gonna fall apart without us thing. It's like clearly
they
not.
won't. They're completely fine.
They clearly not.
Yeah.
Like
They manufacture for the rest of the world. Again, I am back to our old topic was when people are shocked that they're able to reorganize an entire fabrication facility in 3 days
seriously.
to change gears, and it's like, how are you shocked? Like, we have only asked them to do that before many times. Do you not think they just now build everything to be switched around?
And like it's not going to fall apart because they've got fucking millions and millions of people that they can give this technology to and these products to in their own country, let alone the other countries that are still working with China. Like,
and like I understand the whole part of like wanting to be like self-sustaining and
Yeah.
good jobs and all this and that, but it's like at the end of the day, not everyone's going to make six figures. That's just not how that works.
you can't. Yeah.
And I think in any country, no matter what job you have, if you're on a payroll and you're paying taxes and you're at the minimum wage,
Right.
you should be able to easily afford a home.
For
Like there
sure.
should just be options in between. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
One thing I've been saying all week is there's two things that a government should look at, and it should be healthcare, housing.
Right.
If you fix those two things, even if you taxed every single American at a flat rate of 30%,
You can't.
if
They can't.
housing was half of what it is right now today, and healthcare was included,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single person that could viably bitch about a 30% straight line tax. And that's not a like strategy or solution. I'm just saying if it was
Yeah.
something egregious like 30%.
Yeah.
If it was 30% and housing was half what it is today, cars were half what they are today, and healthcare was included, or literally half what it is today, and actually worked, and cut this network crap out. The whole network thing, I think, is the scummiest part of it.
Network. Oh, I know. Sorry.
Yeah,
Misunderstood
in
for a
network,
second.
out in network.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
all insurance.
stupid.
Just take the damn money. I that's like the most shocking thing to me, and I think they do that to
On purpose.
like balance the load between different facilities and locations.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
I don't know. I sounds pretty simple to me. Um, it's just getting it done.
Yeah, just a matter of making sure everybody's on the same page to be able to do it. And
I mean,
forcing everybody to understand, like, hey, this is going to help us. Um,
yeah,
but people like their profits, so
yeah,
you
way too
can't.
much.
Yeah, we've become America the greedy. I say become like we haven't already been, but
It's
anyways,
brutal.
maybe I shouldn't talk too much about that.
Yep.
um, but what so what moves do tech companies what hold on what moves do tech companies have to shift their manufacturing to America or somewhere with a lower tariff? I think what I meant to ask in this one, in this question,
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
see
I
that.
prepared this very quickly. Um, you know, what can companies feasibly um, move their manufacturing to America or somewhere else, um, or somewhere else with lesser tariffs in
Right.
time, to or in a timely manner, I guess. Because I mean, I know they're scrambling right now to do so, but like how soon? Because like there's some people, AMD, Nvidia, so on and so forth, that you just can't move,
Right.
because you are like your roots are deep with TSMC, or your
Yeah.
roots are deep overseas. So, and there's no, isn't there? Is there a fab open? Is the Intel fab open on in America yet or no?
I'm not too sure.
Let's see. Oh my god.
Yes, we're
Semiconductor fabs in America. Intel opened a lab. Oh, there has been one about 25 miles southeast of Phoenix since the 80s.
yeah, Intel
Um,
in Chandler, Arizona.
so, but that's only one fab. Where what between China and Hong Kong and um, Taiwan, they've got like fucking what 20, 30 probably.
We got Samsung in Texas.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, well, still that's not computer processors.
It's done at 5 nanometer, but it is not computer processors. It's just TSMC completion date by this year. I
Hmm.
don't know how true that is, but that is also going to be in Arizona.
So I can't. There's some things I can't move to the states. But I found out the other day that oh, what up, Brian? Um,
Oh, we got Brian in chat.
but I found out the other day that apparently we have a display manufacturer in the states. It's like we have some of the parts in the states, but I guess it comes down to labor then.
Right.
Like our company's gonna be willing to pay the labor, which I guess then creates their own unique tariff, quote unquote. Um,
Right.
like just to put it plainly, tariff overseas, labor overseas is very cheap as compared to labor in the states.
Right.
So let's say 100% an iPhone was made in the states, um, and same parts, same quality of parts, nothing else was wrong. I did not see your message because Discord gets muted while I'm streaming. Oh my god. That looks pretty good. The smile looks a little cursed, but
Oh no.
that size is good. Um, I like it. It's the only thing that, like I said, is cursed is the smile. I gotta copy this and show this to Yanni. Copy image. I like
I
everything
got our
else.
chat open.
Everything else is awesome. Um,
Oh yo.
doesn't it look awesome though?
Yeah, it's gold.
That's something for next week. They'll find that out next week.
Okay.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
That's
That's so
crazy.
fucking awesome. Um, but yeah, even if the iPhone was 100%, part for part, um, made perfectly in the States, it's gonna be more expensive because
Gonna be insanely more expensive.
American labor
Everyone's
standards.
estimating they're like, 25% more.
No, no.
Like,
There was.
if it's assembled by robot mostly, but it's not
It's not.
possible right now.
The thing is, I saw. I should have grabbed a link, but I saw a figure that someone was throwing around that said it would be about, so iPhones right about now are $1,200
I'll be right
assembled
back.
out. What? iPhones are about $1,200 assembled out of the States. In the States, they would be about $2,000, $2,200, specifically because of just labor, how much it costs to, benefits, so on and so forth, for American laborers to make the phones. And that's just an iPhone. That's not counting the cheaper phones that many people rely on. Things like the Moto phones and the lower end Google Pixels, so on and so forth. So, in terms of technology in general, even if everything was in the States and working 100%, it is still going to be much more expensive. So that's what I meant by they would have their own special tariff. Even if they weren't tariffed, getting everything into the States, it's still going to cost more. Because it's just the nature of the beast. Labor in America and work in America is more expensive to produce. So it's a crazy situation. And like Yanni was saying, I'm all for bringing or lowering our dependence on other countries in America, but there has to be a better way to do it. The whole shock and awe treatment is not working out well for right now, at least. I mean, who knows? Maybe this time next year I'll be singing a different tune. This time next year I'll be pleasantly surprised that nothing went wrong and everything was great. But for right now, I don't know, man. It's it is gonna be rough. It's
a brutal game
for sure. Absolutely. You finally got your food.
I got my soup.
You swoop.
My soup.
Well, I guess let's move on from depressing things. Depressing things, just like how we're not getting a Switch 2. Did I don't want to say his name. Our coworker at big box retailer. Did he say that you can sign up for a pre-order for the Switch 2? I know they got to do the whole.
Yeah, you can sign up directly on Nintendo's website.
So you can sign up for one, but you won't be picked for one, like guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it comes first come, first serve,
Right.
but you have to meet all the requirements.
Okay.
The requirements being you have to have 50 hours of collective playtime across all your games on your account.
Okay.
You have to be an existing Nintendo Online subscriber,
Right.
and you had to have been subscribed for at least the last 12 months.
Okay.
Pretty crazy, but it's going to kill a lot of scalpers.
I hope so.
Tons of them.
I mean, yeah, that's probably going to be the biggest. I mean, everybody knows it's going to be the biggest issue with this launch is going to be the scalpers.
I was excited to hear that. There are some brutal requirements, but like, man, like for sure it's going to be like very limited,
and that the right people will be getting one for sure. So
I also heard from the same coworker. Apparently, there's word that GameStop. I think. Were you telling me this?
yeah, we were on the phone yesterday.
Okay, so that's what I heard it yesterday.
He was saying GameStop is saying they'll have 100+ consoles on launch day, something like that.
Right.
And they're expecting all retailers to be the same. I believe that was the what he was saying. Which again, if that's the case, that'll be pretty sick.
Nintendo was super confident in their statement late last year that there will be plenty for everyone.
No, seriously.
They said their stock is going to be enormous, and
going to be a lot.
No one don't have to worry about it.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I mean, yeah. I guess that's more accurately the hopefully.
Yeah. Sounds like it so far. They seem very confident.
Hopefully, it all works out and the tariffs disappear and we can all get Switch for a normal price.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It would be so sick if Nintendo just pulled like a baller move. It was like, hey, we're our my undercover lovers. Oh my god.
Howdy.
Jesus Christ. It would be awesome if Nintendo just pulled a baller move and was like, hey, I know we said, June, whatever, but how about we do it a month early? That way we can beat the tariffs for sure.
Oh. Yo. That'd be wild. Well, I think
even
the idea of having
early.
so many... I think it's a dangerous game either way, right? Because you look at, not just GameStop, but you look at like any retailer, you're going to have that one person. If they were to preload all these consoles in the United States, just pre-ship them.
Yeah.
Like FedEx, UPS, no shipper's going to hold, tens of thousands of consoles.
No. They gotta.
And the actual locations could just throw them up on 2 pallets. Yeah. Realistically, you could totally just throw them up on 2 pallets. But if you leave them at the retail locations, someone's going to go in there and take one.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I guess that's the big problem, is you could ship them early, but you're going to need a middleman to, like, hold it in the States.
Right. Well, I wasn't even saying ship them early. I was just saying, like, release date has now been pushed forward 2 weeks. Go nuts.
Right.
Everybody's getting their Switch early. That way Best Buy can order up pre-orders again. Everybody can open up pre-orders again. Be amazing. Anyways, that wasn't even a topic. We just kind of started talking about that.
Yeah.
I guess moving on. The XT was inside of us all along, Yanni. I don't know if you knew that or not.
All along. I saw a little bit of it, and I read a little bit about it, but I don't know too much on it.
So, I'm glad that you don't know too much, because videocards.com, Video card with a Z. Oh, Brian said he edited it. I can't wait to see. That's amazing. I'm gonna send it to Yanni. Paste. Okay. I need to focus. I like that, Brian.
Yeah, that's wild.
I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I think I
freaking
like that
awesome.
more than the original. I love that so much. I'm
Yeah,
holy crap.
I like both of them. It's
Yeah.
great.
It was just the smile on the first one was like, oh. It was, but like the smile on the second one, I like that it's like over cheesy or overly cheesy.
Right.
Um anyways, sorry, we're getting distracted again. What the fuck is that? What is I'm trying to like do two things at once. Videocards.com reported on a custom upgraded BIOS that can be applied. No, it's not a custom. I wrote that wrong. Reported on an upgraded BIOS that can be applied to a 9070 non-XT. That's a RX AMD RX 9070 non-XT. To give it similar performance to the XT variant, which is, I didn't write the price down, but I think it's either I think it's $100 more. Giving it free performance games for anybody who's technically inclined. Because apparently it's not just a matter of see, I should have wrote this part down. But apparently it's not just a matter of like flashing it. Apparently you have to like hardware flash it, something like that. So you have to get access to the hardware BIOS chip to then flash. So like it's more technically inclined. Oh, we missed something.
But will you retain your warranty?
No, you definitely will not. So giving you free performance games, essentially what it does is it just enables higher clocks and the TGP, but it cannot change the core count or the memory specs because those are you can't upgrade hardware like that. With the modded BIOS applied, the card regularly performed 15 to 20% higher than the stock non-XT variant, which puts it about on par for the XT. The drawbacks, however, in addition to having to essentially get access to the BIOS chip directly, there were some hitches and freezing. One of the monitors encountered during gameplay, but he said with some optimizations, the card became stable and beat the 9070 XT. So, discussion questions. How sick is this? This is so cool. Because I love it when something that you buy just secretly gets more and more better. Through upgrades, through software, through whatever. I love when stuff like this happens.
Not to bring it up, but the first edition Switch.
Back to the Switch. Yeah. The first the first provision Switch, which I think we both have.
Yeah.
We have moddable Switches. It's like it's really awesome to see things like this happen because it just breathes new life into all of your old hardware. That's really what it comes down to. Things like when FSR came out and FSR was able to be used on things like the 500 series graphics cards.
Right.
That was awesome because at the time the cards were 5+ years old.
Right.
But they got FSR, which they gave them a free performance boost. So this is essentially the same thing. Just you need a little hardware knowledge to be able to do it.
Right.
The other discussion question that I added before I get to that link that's right there is why don't companies add more these optional at your own risk types of upgrades? Why do you think?
It's, I think the more straightforward one is the liability. They have they can clarify it and like outline it as much as possible to do it at your own risk. But the way they could spin it is, well, you provoked me to. You know, you said I could. It's at my own risk. If it could break it, why even advertise it?
Yeah, that is. I mean, that's basically kind of what I was thinking. Was it's the fact that it's even being acknowledged, like overclocking.
Right.
Overclocking for
Or
the
I was gonna
longest
say like
time wasn't even covered.
factory turbos.
Yeah, factory turbos. Um, it was never covered under any warranty, right? So
Right.
if you overclock it and you
Yep.
burn your chip, cool, you got to go buy another one. But now I think, I mean, you get factory overclocks anyways. But if you make it go past that, then again, it's not covered. So it's I'm sure it makes a sticky situation for the company, um, and having to explain like, well, clearly, um, clearly, I'm losing my train of thought. Clearly, you have created you've done a modification to this, and clearly we can't support this. Um,
Mhm.
but then the end user could just be like, well, I didn't. Like, so I get why companies don't do this more often, or at all, really. They don't support things like this. I think kind of what my mind is drifting to, though, is why not open source things like this? Um, NVIDIA kind of had a very interesting open sourcing thing that just happened, where the new 50 series cards, PhysX is depreciated on them, so it's no longer a
Right.
supported thing. So if you go back to play, the most notable game to me is like Batman Arkham Asylum. If you go back to play that game on PC with a 50 series card, you can't launch it. But
Right.
NVIDIA ended up open sourcing PhysX, so that way the community can make a tool to then make PhysX games runnable again. So
Right.
why wouldn't something like that happen? I guess maybe it falls into the same thing, but if you leave it to the community, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Let me not ramble.
Um, I don't know. The whole thing with open sourcing, it'll it's good in one sense that you can just have thousands of heads just looking at something and just develop it for the better cause. But I guess every time you get those suggested pushes, you also need a team to review all of that. Um, I guess that's where it kind of gets a little hazy. Is what you're testing is like, you know, how's it guaranteed to work across all platforms and all updates and, you know, all
Right.
different hardware configurations. And I guess that's the issue with open sourcing is they could try and push for an open source platform, but it's like how many branches are you going to have? Because you know some people are more familiar with like I don't know. You got like resize bar, right?
Right.
You got rebar enabled, and you may have people like that may understand the core architecture behind that, and they may push a driver to be like more optimal for that, but it may break things on like the other end of the spectrum, and it's like cool for some people. It may not even matter because whatever their scenario, whatever their situation is, doesn't involve that other end that's breaking.
Right.
But for the other end, what if it's a 50-50 split? It's like you get like a 5 or 10% increase in performance if you do this one thing, but you can't have this other half. Um, and again, for like half the people, it doesn't matter, but for the other half of the people, it's like crucial. So it's like, how many branches are you going to split down
Right.
between like what works and like what doesn't work? Which I think is hence why when you look at like Linux distros, them being open source, you always have like 3 and 5 different options to pick through for the latest update distros. So you just have so many different ways to handle like the GUI and
Right.
it's like everything running underneath of it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Um, yeah, I love seeing things like this. Free performance. Ironically,
Right.
it's kind of why I really like 3D printers. Because
Yeah.
most until you get to the bamboos of the world, most 3D printers have just free upgrades, as long as you are able to print them off. Um,
Practically. Yeah.
the Ender is a an Ender of Theseus situation usually. When does it stop becoming an Ender or stop being an Ender, starts being
Yeah.
a different model? I mean,
Actually.
back to our anchor make conversation from 2 streams ago now. My anchor make is practically a completely different machine, um, and a much quieter machine than a stock anchor make, and
The kind
it
of prints you could
prints
get off of that were
overhangs really well.
phenomenal.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I was like, I spent $500 on this. I'm
Insane.
gonna I'm gonna make this work. Um, and I just saw I sent you the link last night of the
Chameleon.
the chameleon, the AMS
Yeah.
for really it's for any printer. It's not just the anchor make.
For a buck
Um,
80.
for $180. It's like
And
I
you can
love things like
print the
that.
rest of your
It's
hardware.
so cool. I do see over in Twitch. So with the Switch 2 coming and all that there is, there's a lot of people stating that there is no point in getting them due to the problems already looking at coming up with the Switch 1 was better. With the tariffs. Yeah.
I honestly think, again, kind of leaning back to last stream, is I I think Nintendo's willing to absorb a lot of the cost.
I don't know if they're willing to absorb 145% of the cost.
Yeah.
There's going to be an increase. That is for sure. It's just a matter of how much the increase is.
Right.
And the Switch 1, I wouldn't say the Switch 1 or the Switch 2 is going to be better than the other, because the Switch 2 is new games, new hardware, much faster hardware. The only thing that I would say is a downgrade or a side grade for the Switch 2 is the screen, really. The screen, I think, is a higher resolution, but it's still an LED screen, or
It's
LCD screen.
shocking with the consistency that OLED is this like cheaper, better panel.
But people choose to not put OLED in things.
Yeah, they just choose not to use it.
Yeah,
Even
dude.
with the layering burn-in reduction, it's like phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good nowadays.
Seriously, yeah.
Um, like why? Why do
What?
you not include it? As soon as they said uh LCD, I was
No
just a little
way.
turned off by it. But
Yeah,
just knowing that it's still better than the first, which is LCD, I'm like, sure, okay. And I guess in my hands, I can't really complain because it's gonna be docked like 95% of the time.
yeah. Get that 4K
But
60 FPS, 120 FPS.
like, I think it's like 4K 60, and then I think
Oh, I thought it was
1080p is
120.
120.
No, no, well.
But even 60, like if you're promising 60 at upscaled 4K, I'll take it. I'll
Yeah,
totally take it. And I was super happy to see the native settings for 1440p too when they were running through the showcase.
I might
So
have. Did I do that
I'm
wrong? Did I do a bad?
definitely excited for it.
I
I think the Switch 2 right out the gate's going to be depending on how it handles previous games, I think it's
yes, I
going to be
did
a
a
total
bad.
banger. Because if they can run their previous games at like native 30, no problem. You got me one over. If it runs it better than 30, then that's just bonus on top.
Right.
I'll be significantly more inclined to do a playthrough of a few of my games if I can get
Absolutely.
the better performance.
Performance has never been a huge thing for me, ironically. But I don't know
Just
why.
in Pokemon. That was it for me.
Yeah.
Let's go Eevee.
I never
Now let's go Eevee.
never
It
played
was
that one.
Scarlet. Scarlet and Violet. I think I had a Violet.
Right.
Um those games, those were miserable.
All right, Yanni, you have a super important task to do while I get before I come back.
Okay.
Keep them entertained because I have to step out for a second.
All right, we're moving away from technology. Apparently, Chili's trolls McDonald's with its new quarter pounder burger. Let's take a look
Jesus
at that.
Christ! You know
Chili
what?
starts
That's
beef
news
with
enough.
McDonald's in the
Oh my
form of a
god.
brand new burger. It just sounded like we got to go to Chili's soon. Quarter pounders, step aside because there's a new version in town. Sort of. Chili's is firing shots at McDonald's by releasing its own quarter pounder ish burger called the Big QP, which is being added to the Chili's 3 for Me menu. If you don't recall, which I don't, the 3 for Me menu, which has done wonders for Chili's bottom line, is a 3-course lunch deal that starts you off with bottomless chips and salsa, gets you a main entree, and a serve of fries and a drink, all sold at prices that are similar to that of fast food restaurants. That sounds pretty interesting. That was pulled from the takeout. Um, the Big QP name is sort of a misnomer. However, because the burger patty Chili's uses is 85% larger than a quarter pound, this means it's 7.5 ounces before cooking it, as opposed to McDonald's 4-ounce patty. In reality, you're getting something that's more akin to a half-pound burger in a meal deal that also includes chips and salsa. That's actually fantastic, and that is one thing I need to go and try. One of these days we gotta bounce up. What's up, Riku? Are we talking about going to Chili's? Are we gonna do this? Get the big QP. What else we got here? Aside from the big QP from Chili's. iOS 19 will add these new features to your iPhone. We're not going to go over that. All these iOS 19 things, and we're only in the middle of iOS 18.
What do you want about?
Apparently, we have a strong solar storm heading to Earth.
Ooh. Can't wait to die.
Gonna knock out all life as we know it.
Yes. The only
Now, this is
correct
going to
way
say,
have a
here's what
solar
to know
storm.
about northern lights.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Colorful aurora display across the U.S. states. Than usual Tuesday night. Well, it is Tuesday. And I'm looking through here.
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
It does not tell me how low the Borealis is going to be. But I can't imagine it being as good as last time.
Says you. You know, it also says me.
What says you?
Says me is Windows 95 is now historical.
Yeah, is it?
It is. The Library of Congress has announced this year's selections that will be added to the National Recording Registry. I am doing good tonight. Actually, I have a lot of energy today. But so it'll be added to the National Recording Registry. Generally, this registry is focused on many spoken word, um, yeah, spoken word recordings, recordings. Oh, I was supposed to say music, not many. Music that the library deems worthy for preservation based on their culture, historical, and aesthetic importance um, to the U.S. sound history. Um, Again, I did not prepare these very well. Um, to answer your question, Riku, I am wonderful tonight. Um, we're just getting through this topic, but yeah, it's a very nice night, so no issues to complain of. But let's see. One of the sounds that made it into the registry this year is actually the Windows 95 startup sound, composed by Brian Eno. Eno submitted 84 different chimes in total. Microsoft eventually picked the one we've all come to know and love today. Ironically, Brian Eno said during an interview with BBC in 2011 that he wrote the chime on a Mac and had never owned a PC up to that point in 2011. The other two notable songs, at least to us, that are being added to the registry this year audio recordings, not songs, is the original Minecraft album, with the original Minecraft, the initial songs that Notch, um, I guess, asked for or commissioned, um, and the Mario Bros song. Also heard a lot of people concerned about the Switch 2 Mario Kart. Switch one first. Yeah, it is a bit weird that Mario Kart for Switch 2 or Mario Kart World, or there was never a, I guess, dedicated Mario Kart release. Like, it was just a re-release of what they released already on the Wii U. So that is a bit weird. Um so but anyways, that's
I think what they were shooting for just Switch One couldn't handle.
yeah, that's what it seems. Especially because it's open world.
Open world, the graphics are way better.
But yeah, so in addition to the Minecraft album, the original Mario Bros. Song,
Mhm.
and the Windows 95 startup sound, what sounds, songs, etc., Yanni, do you think you should be added, or do you think should be added to the National Registry? It is
I think the
supposed to,
Zelda collection,
the Zelda collection. So this is of
Song of
United
Songs,
States importance.
United States important.
Yes. So it is cultural, historical, and aesthetic importance to the United States recorded sound history.
Is Tetris in there? Because that's important.
That is pretty important. I feel like Tetris should be in there for sure. Are there any songs that you think should be in there that you can think of off the top of your head? That's
Any
not crab.
songs?
That's not crab rave.
Rasputin.
I just saw your face. I was just watching your face. I was waiting for you to say Numa Numa or something like that.
Numa Numa.
Um,
The Minecraft version of Viva La Vida.
Jesus Christ. Um, all right. So, and then what computer sound? You've picked game music. You've picked a song. What computer sound do you think should be in the registry?
Definitely. Was it Vista? The Vista error sound.
The Vista error sound. Hold on,
Hmm.
we gotta look this up now. Um, Vista error. All Windows error sounds. I only need... Okay, let's just go through it. Oh, I can't hear it. Oh, there we go. I think the error sound for Windows 98 should be in there.
Windows XP.
Yeah, dong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the noise? Yeah, that should be in there for sure. Hold on.
Yeah. Windows XP for sure.
Hold on. I gotta desktop. Can you hear that? Did that already? Oh. No. You can't hear it.
Windows XP for sure.
Windows. I'm surprised it's not working. What up, Ree? Hold on. I have to be able to do this.
Yo!
Yo!
We got re-yoing in the chat.
Hold on. I want to make sure everybody can listen to this sound. All Windows error sounds. All right. So let's just go back to 3.1. There we go. So this is that's Windows 98. And that's NT 2000 Whistler. That's Windows XP server. And that was the Vista sound that Yanni said should be in there. Let me send this to you, Yanni, so you know what I would...
Oh, no, I'm listening to it. The evolution of Windows error codes.
I forgot you were listening to the stream. Yeah, that's a pretty good sound.
Yep.
Oh,
that's about a re.
You can call me Matt Battery. I don't know.
Yeah, did you the sounds made me confused. Did you the most replayed is Windows 11? Why is Windows 11 the most replayed?
Fuck if I know, dude.
It's just the voice. People just jump to the end for no reason.
I love that Windows 98 noise. Makes me so happy. In the toolkit I was making for work, I was talking with a coworker.
Oh,
and I was so close to adding the Windows 98 error sound, and he's like, no one's gonna get it. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, everybody's too young to remember that. I was like, fuck, you're right.
Yeah, speaking about it,
no one's gonna actually know that.
Our certain coworker, the one of the younger ones, I brought up GameCube to one of our older coworkers.
Oh no!
And the younger one goes, "Before I was born."
Oh my god!
And we both looked at each other. We're like, "Yeah, you're right." Darn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that one was rough.
The sounds made me confused.
I was like, I was still obviously we were still babies, like when it came out, practically little tiny kids.
But it's still like a very important part of your life.
But we were born before it.
Yeah, that is true.
Ugh. Yikes.
All right, let me go ahead and mute the Chrome tab. Oh, what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, Windows 95. Let's see, because I didn't do mine yet. GameCube was dope. Oh, you didn't say anything about the fucking
XP
GameCube noise?
And Vista noise should be in the National Registry. You're right. GameCube should totally be in there. Well, I said Tetris.
Well, okay, so you said the GameCube startup sound should be in there. I think the Xbox startup sound should be in there. Like the original
Xbox and PlayStation.
I wasn't a PlayStation kid, so no. PlayStation's wrong. The original Hold on, we're turning back on the Chrome now.
Oh, Game Boy.
Game Boy. Oh, I was
The Game Boy boot up noise.
start up sound. Let's see. Which one? Advance?
Remember when you? Yeah, Game Boy
Because there's
Advance,
original Game Boy. Oh, no, that's the screen.
Game
That's right.
Boy,
It didn't
Game
make a
Boy
noise.
Color.
Oh shit.
Oh,
God, that makes me so
you know, I can
happy.
grab my. I've got
I
my
was gonna say I
Game Boy
got my Game
somewhere
Boy
around
somewhere.
here.
I could totally just should have just grabbed it. But for
That's the
me,
first thing I do. I don't know how the battery still has juice in it. Every time I turn it on, I'm like, yeah, it's still got some juice somehow.
it's 100% this, the Xbox noise.
Not an Xbox noise, yeah.
I don't care about anything else. That made my childhood right there. Um, Matt said you would hold Z on the GameCube and it would make a funny sound. Something different with 4 people. What was that? GameCube.
Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna look it up. It was an Easter egg. Yeah, I remember the flashlight.
Oh, okay.
I had the Game Boy Advance. I had the purple one,
That's cool
and I
as
had
shit.
had like the light adapter for it.
I'm going through the different ones now.
I remember leaving a house party really late at night. We left the Game Boy in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Be sitting between mom and dad in the truck, and mom would be patient enough. Well, I guess she was kind of resting her arm, but she would rest her arm in a way where she could like hold the
The light.
yeah, she could hold the light. She would grab my dad's flashlight and she would like hold it at the right angle where like I could play my Game Boy.
That's so amazing. Let's
Ugh,
see.
old days.
What do you guys
And I got
think?
the Game Boy Advance SP. That was sick.
So why the sound? Oh, so the topic, Matt, that we were talking about, and actually I was going to turn it over to you guys because I'm sure I could go on for what music and what recordings deserve to be in this registry. But the topic was the Windows 95 startup sound was added to the National Registry. Um, the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advanced SP.
Yeah,
Holy crap, dude.
that's what I
Um,
had. I had the black one. I still got it. I don't think it's in my room. I think it's in the basement.
but yeah, the Windows 95 startup sound was added to the National Registry. So I asked Yanni. Um, the registry generally focuses on music, spoken word, and recordings that are of importance to the United States recorded sound history. So, what was your ones again? You said
Tetris.
Tetris. You said the Vista era sound.
Yeah.
And then what was the song that you picked?
I was messing around. I said Rasputin.
Oh, Rasputin.
Yeah.
The original or the new one,
Oh,
newer
the
one.
original.
Um, and what do I think should be added?
Yeah, they made a black one.
I think the Xbox noise for sure.
Hold on, am I getting this mixed up?
I think the
With
Windows.
SP?
What's the Windows 98 startup sound? I don't know. Actually, I had Windows Millennium.
Oh yeah, 100%. They had a black one. They had a silver one too.
I think more. Yes, I forgot about that. No, I think the Windows XP startup sound is more important.
Oh, they had a lot more colors than I
That
thought.
scratches my brain.
They got the gold one.
And then for a song, I couldn't even tell you what song. But chat, what do you guys think? What sounds, songs, or important recordings should be added to the registry? of that. It's supposed to be of U.S. importance, cultural,
Okay,
aesthetic, so on and so forth.
that's important. Not Tetris. I took that one.
Not Tetris. Hmm. I can't think of anything like song wise that probably isn't already in the
Song
registry.
wise,
Ah, I got it.
the
PS1
seal
startup
animal.
when the disc loads.
Ugh,
The seal animal noise? I don't know if I want to look that up.
just a seal.
Seal and what I actually think should be added to the registry if it isn't already. This year.
Yeah,
The
Nokia
Nokia
ringtone.
ringtone. Hell yeah, dude. Um, this year they
Ugh.
found a way to transcribe the first recordings Thomas Edison ever did. And he didn't have a way to play it back originally. So those recordings were literally voice recordings before photography was a thing in the 1800s or something like that. So it's technically the oldest recording ever found of anything. So that should definitely be in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was actually actually crazy. But here's the seal sound. That should be in the National Registry, according to Brian. Weekend hobbies. I'm not gonna play that on stream, but I agree. The bonk sound effect.
I just got to the seal sound.
Ah, the device connected for a sound effect. That's actually a good one.
Device connected.
The iPhone
Be back
charging
to like
noise.
Windows XP again.
Not even that.
The Windows 7 boot up sound.
No, the iPhone charging sound.
iPhone charging sound.
Well,
Yeah, that was a huge staple.
yeah, that's a good one. Um, the bonk sound effect. Let's play that. Bonk sound effect. 10 hours. It's so stupid. I mean, what song? Seriously, I can't think of a good song. Yeah, that's kind of it. What about 20Q? Didn't that have a noise? What is 20Q? Like, is it the game 20 questions?
Yeah. Remember the little 20 cue balls you could get?
I never had one of those balls. I'm looking at it now, and I don't want to watch this person's video on stream. But I believe you. Oh wait, here's the direct sound recordings. This
Had somebody say purple rain.
Purple Rain. That's not bad. I think I know, Yoni. The noise that should be in the National Registry
Yeah.
should be the noise that Dio's hand made. Or no, not Dio's hand. That Dio made whenever he went and used the world. The
Yeah.
whatever you think, Riku, is a song of national importance is what we can add to our make-believe registry. Um,
So
Zawardo! means I'm sorry. I guess outside of that, is there anything else, Yanni, that you wanted to talk about this week?
I'm trying to think. I'm running through my news right now. One Piece picked back up. That's something.
Oh yeah.
They were on hiatus for like
Oh, you reminded me.
I think like 5 or 6 months.
I think I've forgotten to tell you about this for the past few. Well, really, it's been about a week that I've read it because I've already read through all of it.
Yeah.
You know how I like never read? Yeah, never read anymore.
Yeah.
Specifically manga. I found a series called Tower Dungeon, and apparently there's rumors that there's going to be an anime of it.
Okay.
Coming soon. It's published by the same people who published Attack on Titan. Not made
Yeah.
by the same guy though. And dude, it's good. It's really good. The whole setup is that it feels like a dungeon crawler essentially. Like you go from level 1 to level 100. And each level
Okay.
it gets harder, but it's not centered around that, if that makes sense. That's just
Right.
a mechanic of the world. And there's this tower that just kind of came out of nowhere that the princess is stuck in. They have to go up and get the princess out. And they like do multiple runs. They get to a point where they have to go back home and get more get supplies and whatnot. It's
Right.
it's really, really good.
What
Um
kind of game news updates do we got, Riku? Sorry, I can keep on going. We'll wait for these updates.
yeah, what are the updates? Come on. Poggies, god damn it.
A super effective disinfectant that's safe enough for your face. Meet hypochlorous acid. That
That's
sounds
scary.
terrible. I don't want to put anything called it. Anything that
That isn't
in
called
relation
water
to
and
acid on
soap.
my face. Yeah,
that isn't called water and soap.
actually. Um, this is pretty cool. Trump signs executive action to lower drug prices.
Monster Hunter
I'm
and
not
some
gonna
other
get too
games
big
that are not 100% popular, as well as some smaller ones.
Yeah, Monster Hunter has their new the new update out. It's been out to my knowledge. I just haven't really been itching to play. Our group's been playing Repo recently. That's
Uh,
been
I need to
way too much fun.
I need to hop on more repo with you guys. It's been a while.
It's just a blast every time you get in. It's like
It's such a stupid game, but it's so funny at the
it
same time.
doesn't really get that dry because you know you're not going to hit like an impossible level. It's just
Right.
kind of it's a little bit of RNG, but it's just kind of always a blast every time you hop into it. When was
One,
the first Monster Hunter game out?
ooh, that has to be like 2005. That's my guess.
Was that on the PSP?
I think it was on the PS2 because the PSP games came after.
This is something Riku would know.
2002. Okay, I was close.
2004.
I was very close.
Very close. And you're right, it was on the PS2.
I told you. The only reason I remember that is because when me and my older brother were growing up, we had a PSP, but I wanted my own version of everything he had. So I would
Yeah,
like research and be like, all right, so I want to play Monster Hunter, but I can't play on his PSP or on our PSP,
right.
and I want to play at the same time. So how can I get it on the console? And we had an Xbox at the time. I looked it up. It's like, fuck, it's only on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I knew that there were Monster Hunter games before the PSP games.
Yeah,
But
Riku and
it's
I always had yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Freedom Unite is good. That was the one we played too. But Monster Hunter was one of those games that you know how like the PSP, like it would say it's X game, but it's really just like a
Yeah.
trimmed down version of that game.
Right.
Monster Hunter was one of those games that did not do that. Like
Right.
it really
It was
leaned
fully
into,
featured.
yeah, it really leaned into, this is a full Monster Hunter game. Like,
The compact discs were insane. That was like,
seriously.
I mean, talk about just super cool stuff. The way we try and just get things to work back then. Sony really stretching out there. It's a shame the Vita never really took off.
Yeah.
Because you got the Vita, and then you look at the freaking Switch, and it's like, well, we're right back to handhelds, but I guess the hybrid was the trick, but not quite with the Wii U.
Right.
It's like the Wii U was early alpha of what the Switch was going to be.
The Switch was a good
Um,
idea. Well, the Wii U, sorry, was a good idea, but it definitely, it was marketed
had
very
some good
poorly.
games too. Yeah,
Marketed very, very poorly. Working on a fix for the ability for the Zoe Sheila high rank. Hmm. I don't play Monster Hunter anymore, so this is all
currently.
Yanni. This is all Yanni talk right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the current problem with crashing at the end of a hunt. You lose all your memory.
That sucks.
That's crazy. Yeah, that really sucks. Considering it depends on like how long your hunt takes, which to be fair in Wilds, it goes by a lot faster than previous games. They tend to up the pace just a little bit for you.
Yeah.
I just think because we're in a faster moving world now, but to lose your memory, that's aggravating. That's super aggravating, especially if it's anything consistent. But no, I remember watching Freedom Unite. Um, Riku and I used to hang out. We had see
Have
you
a good
later, Matt.
night.
Yep, have a good one. We would we always had like opposite ends um of our gaming portfolios. It was like Xbox over at his house. I had PlayStation over here. Eventually, at some point, they got around to Xbox, but I had DS. He had the PSP. Um, but yeah, watching him play Freedom Unite, especially on the PSP, it was like even back then, it looked like some of the most complex, complicated stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to think they added all that to a PSP, that was for sure super bizarre.
Absolutely. All right, Yanni. What projects are you working on this week?
Gridfinity.
Oh shit.
Doing Gridfinity. I've been working on. I can actually show people. There we go. Let me pull up my camera up here. So
Oh snap! I forgot all about this.
yeah, I still have this.
After we
I
talked last
gotta.
week, I
I gotta
completely
bring this.
forgot.
I gotta bring this tomorrow so I can actually give this back to you. So
Okay.
this is the mower shroud that Mark here has, and you can see what happened to the one side and what started happening with the other. So I made these sleeves. Well, first off, I made this to try and
Oh,
combat
that
it,
was
but then
such a
we
good
found out
idea.
you can see on the inside, not so much on that side, but on this side, it impacts the pulley like right on it. So this would eventually just kind of rub away.
It would gum
I
up
guess that's why it's metal.
it would gum up the belt.
So I made a bunch of different ones. It started off with a little sock, or actually, it didn't start off with a sock. It started off with the giant thing, and then made a simple little sock for it. And then we're like, cool. Well, we should use a little bit of a brace. So then we did this. We just added an L to it. So there's the sock. It would slip right in. We got the L. And that just kind of goes on like this. That just presses against the back there. And then we're like, okay, well, apparently you can, yeah, it crunches so easily. I did that by accident the first time, by the way.
That's funny.
Which is what immediately made me go back to the drawing board because I was showing my mom and I'm like, look, because this one bent. It doesn't bend, it just snaps. Um, so then I made another one, right? This
Another
other
one.
one has ridges in it,
What was the point of the
and it was
ridges? Just
before I
'cause?
found the ridges. I think help if you run any kind of adhesive to it.
Oh, okay.
It'll help sink it. But also the same issue is they do just kind of crumble like that. It depends on your infill and stuff like that. So this one's not too heavy, so I can actually finally toss these.
Josh, right now these are PLA. It's going to be finished in
Oh yeah,
ABS. His
yeah, these
examples
ones
are
are in
PLA
PLA right
though.
now. And so then I was like, okay, we need some structure. So we got these right now. So with that, and we got that. This, yeah, no, it's gonna hurt me a lot more trying to break this. I don't think. Yeah, you definitely can break this.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, that's
alone does a
really
lot to it.
that's really hard to snap.
And then looking down at the center there, I think this is practically final. Almost dropped it. And then I got this, and then this one just has little tiny, like
I
small
like
rivets to maybe fit
yeah,
that better.
I like that one. Um,
But my issue was I was working around. See if it focuses. This, which has like some sort of slag on it, so I was trying to make space for the slag.
yeah. And the
If it
slag.
wants to focus,
Yeah.
yeah, there it is. So that's why they're so thick and hollow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if I recall correctly, you said you want these to be slimmer
Yeah, if
on
it's
the
just
inside.
like skin tight to it essentially.
Okay,
And
because
that
I
would
could totally
solve
do that.
because when I went to go, I printed off my own version in PetG,
Yeah.
and I just went outside to put it in, and like I said, I showed you those pictures. Um, it just like as soon as I
Oh
started
yeah, that's right.
cranking,
This side's not going to work.
as soon
Yeah.
as I started cranking, to fasten it properly, it just started crumbling. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm thinking it needs to have the least amount of space possible. And then
Right.
we'll just deal with the slag. Probably just force it to go on.
Or you can get needle nose pliers. You can chip away at it. You can hit with a hammer.
Yeah, there's ways to
You
get
can
rid
just
of it.
break it off. Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I might do that in a little bit here.
okay.
Just hop into SolidWorks, load it up, and get that finalized. That way
Sick.
we'll have it.
I still really like. Oh, excuse me. I still really like the extra material you added on that one version, the 5.5 model. But
Oh, that little
yeah,
ring.
I don't know how I feel about. I
Oh,
don't have any
no, I know
strong
what you
enough
mean. At the
snips.
tip.
Yeah, I don't have any strong enough
Yeah.
snips to take the material away to make it fit.
Got it. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll just go with
the
thicker
5,
layers.
yeah, thicker
Yeah,
layers,
we'll go thicker layers.
and then printing it at an angle to where each layer is in a stronger position.
Right.
Instead of just letting it crumple.
What game update are we looking at?
Is there a game update?
And then Josh goes, "I guess the triangle once again shows its strength." Because you're talking about this.
Mechanical engineering. And you're still doing Gridfinity?
Yeah, Gridfinity. I have the stuff behind me.
Oh yeah, the grid. That's right. You're telling me.
Yeah, here's all my Gridfinity stuff that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, sweet.
It's
Man,
supposed to
you're
go in my
going
Alex drawers.
you're going hard on that.
That's for one drawer, by the way.
That's crazy.
Whoops, I lost one. These really small.
Oh, that sucks. Gridfinity
Yeah,
is cool
I
and
already
everything,
lost one.
but I don't know. Some parts to it is just like
That's Dunzo.
Contrived. He just dropped it. He can't find it anymore.
Okay, I found it. I'll get it later.
Okay. Oh, Brian sent me yours.
Oh no.
Oh no. I like that a lot.
So not ready for this. We got 7 Days to Die version 2.0 storms brewing. Whoa. It's a good one.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm digging that.
Holy crap. That's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
And then just imagine those faces below the thumbnail. And the thumbnail
Oh
will be
no.
something.
That's gold.
At some point, Brian, I'll give you like an actual cartoon to go off of, but this is hilarious. This is amazing.
Yeah, 2013.
I guess for my projects, just to finish out the weekly thing we've been covering. I've really just been working on. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Actually, I don't know why I said that. I did it today, so I wouldn't have been able to tell you until now. So the toolkit at work, right?
Yeah.
For the viewers, I've been working with Python, PowerShell, a little bit of XML. I say XML like it's a very fancy thing to do, but whatever, Brian, to answer your question, Brian, whatever makes them transparent and as a background. I don't remember if PNG does that. It's been a long time since I've had to export something without a background. But yes, if that does let it have a transparent background, I'll take it as a PNG. I appreciate it, Brian. Yeah, so I've been using Python and PowerShell and whatnot to create a toolkit for my department at work. So our technicians can just come in, look at a problem, be like, all right, let's go to the toolkit, take care of it. Call it a day. So, in addition to that, I've started to create a post-deployment script that essentially gives the technicians essentially you load up the toolkit, and then if it's within the first 3 days of the install date for Windows, it will launch the post-deployment script is what I'm calling it, and essentially just walks you through basic steps. So if you need printers installed, you have a chance to install printers. If you need extra programs installed, you have you check the boxes for extra programs. You can have a second chance to rename the machine if you named it incorrectly in the first place. I'm trying to think, and other minor settings that can be set. So that way things are more uniform across our images, because right now it's just kind of essentially Scout's honor on whether or not you image something correctly. So doing it with this, it makes sure everyone's naming schemes are correct. It makes sure everyone's printers are correct, and makes sure essentially it unifies the process aside from the initial imaging portion of it itself. So that's what I started working on, and to get to where my update is for you, Yanni, I started to pick it back up today because I was working on documentation these past 2 weeks, which I've told you about before. I like how you're leading too. So we're just looking at each other.
Is that what it looks
Yeah,
like?
it looks like we're looking at each other right now. Oh, that's right. Because I'm not sharing. Hold on.
Let me update this real quick.
Hold on. I'll show you. This is amazing. That's so funny.
That's gold.
Um, so essentially, what it does now is, I've got it to a point where all of the GUI functions are done.
Yeah.
So all the things the user is going to interact with is just complete. So there's the only things there's like if I need to add or remove a program or add or remove a checkbox for something like one thing I was requested to add was turning the machine sleeping the machine after 3 hours of inactivity because it helps with the projector problem we're running into.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that can be checked. So adding and removing small things like that. At the
Right.
very end, it shows a progress screen. The progress screen shows two check text boxes, and both of those text boxes show the current console output of whatever script is running. So the one on the top runs that PowerShell Windows updater I was telling you about. So as soon as you open post deploy, it starts running and looking for Windows updates with PowerShell in the background.
Right.
And then at the end, you could see its status and just wait for it to finish. The second text box launches it displays a what I'm calling the handling script, where essentially the information that is input by the user is sent to it, and then you can watch the script be executed in real time. Without having to open a separate PowerShell window for the user to interrupt or stop.
Right.
So it's 100% on Rails. The only thing the user can do is hit the cancel button.
Okay.
Or wait.
Yeah.
So that's super happy with how it turned out. I was able to color code things. I was able to make it look good. So now
Right.
I'm basically at the point where the hard stuff is done, and now all I have to do is just take the work I've already done for the other 500 scripts I've made, and just
Right.
place them nicely into this, and then I'm done.
Right.
So,
Say.
well, after testing, I'm done, I should say. I
Right.
don't want to put it out there and be like, hey, this works, and then it doesn't actually work.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna be very important, and I cannot wait to present it to my boss, and hopefully he agrees that is equally important.
Right.
So, other than that,
Yeah, it's exciting.
yeah, it's it's small things that make work fun, and it's usually the work that I
Right.
do. Wow, you're leaning the other way now. We're just leaning together.
Yeah, now I am.
Terrible. Well, I guess that's the show.
That's the show.
That's the show. Showing what? Show and
The
tell?
show on 7 Days to Die.
Uh-oh.
Update 2 will feature a unique storm type per biome.
For 7
Now I
days
was
to
looking
die.
through all these patch notes. It's amazing. Yeah. The fact that they keep on going, they just don't stop.
It is crazy that it came out in 2013. But you know what came out the same
Yeah.
year? GTA 5.
Yikes. Ugh.
It came out the same year. And it's still getting updates, but it really shouldn't be. That game is so trashed. it is a husk of its former self. Speaking of Ship of Theseus from earlier in the show, yeah, that the GTA 5 is a crazy crazy situation. So, anyways, I guess we're gonna end it here. If there's anything else, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I got nothing.
All right, well,
Ugh.
I guess we will end it here. Hopefully, we'll see you all again next Tuesday. Hopefully, closer to our start time than we were, although we weren't too terribly off this time. Um, but
No,
yeah,
not too bad.
no, not bad at all. So, all right, I'll see you all later.
Cool. Have a good Easter.
Oh, I forgot it's Easter. I keep forgetting it's Easter. I think I'm gonna take
Yep.
off. I think I'm gonna take off Monday. Not from
Yeah.
not from big box store, but from main job. So,
Yeah.
all right.
All right. See ya, Riku.
See ya.